Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I'm playing the Warzone waiting room, otherwise known as Black Ops 6. I'm going to be showing you my best clips from a couple of reasonable games where I'm still trying to relearn how to play and improve my skills, so don't expect anything too crazy. Today we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the Black Ops 6 X Warzone integration that's going to be coming the morning of November 14th, so depending on how fast my production times are, about a week after this video goes live, and this coincides with the launch of Season 1 for the game. So today I'm going to talk about all the new stuff that's coming in Season 1 that we know about. Then I'm going to offer a bit of an opinion about this game that I'm playing, which is essentially just the big Warzone waiting room. And then I'm going to briefly offer some insight on an interesting optimization issue that I discovered on PC relating to processors. So, new stuff in Season 1 for base multiplayer is, first of all, going to be 3 new maps, which have already been teased on social media. Taking a look at the pictures and layouts that are available on social media and the blog posts and stuff, I can tell that 2 of these are 6v6 maps, and 1 of them is a 2v2 strike map, which seems about the right ratio to release things in. Unfortunately, they don't look very different in terms of how they're going to play. Just kind of eyeballing them, they do seem to be about the same size as what we've got now, about the same lane structure and climbing structure. So if you're one of those people like me that are complaining about maps being too small, I don't think this is going to fix the problem. Obviously, we won't know until we play on said maps, but I think it's going to continue to be rough in that regard. The mid-season update actually includes a new map for zombies, which will be very fun, though they didn't drop any details about when this mid-season update is coming. I didn't see anything, at least as of the time of recording this, on the new zombies map, and my assumption is that the map is either not finished, or for the rest of this season, and this might be smart on Activision's part, they decide to break up the season so the first launch of the season is all multiplayer and Warzone stuff, the mid-season update is all zombie stuff, and then it kind of cycles so between like multiplayer and zombies, multiplayer, zombies. So the mid-season update is always zombies. We don't have a trailer, don't have a lot of information as of the time of recording, so we'll see how all that pans out. And the big one for this video, the Black Ops 6 integration is coming to Warzone and bringing over all of the new gameplay mechanics, so Call of Duty Warzone will have omnimovement for the first time ever. It's also getting a new map called Area 99, and the entire thing is sort of an expansion of Nuketown, or all the facilities around Nuketown and military training areas of that kind of abandoned, dilapidated military training area vibe. The new points of interest on Area 99 look fascinating to me. There's all these sort of like deep Call of Duty lore places. I'm interested in the Mannequin Factory. I feel like that could be a really creepy or interesting place to have a fight where you just stand still and pretend to be a mannequin. So I've got hope for that. That's looking good. But there are 2 parts of the Warzone integration that I'm not looking forward to. The first part is that the map is 50 Shades of Brown. And this is a real heartbreaker because Treyarch is usually the developer that puts the most color in their maps. They have the most vibrant, beautiful maps. If you think about the original Blackout map, for the most part it was extremely colorful and beautiful. The Fireteam map was the same. The supposed leaked Warzone map, when you go in, you know, spectator cam and zoom out on this game, is also quite colorful. Area 99 looks like a lot of browns and grays to me. It looks like a lot of grungy, sand, draw distance problems, and beyond that, I'm a little bit let down that it's a Resurgence map. I totally understand, for those I can hear the comments right now, that Resurgence is an extremely popular game mode, and that I'm in the minority when I say that I don't like it. Like, most people do seem to like Resurgence, but at the end of the day, I don't really like Resurgence. It's a little bit too crazy for me, it's a little bit too cracked. And I think the number one thing I don't like about it is something that I've hated since my very first time playing on Rebirth Island, is that I don't like people flying in and landing on me. I don't like people respawning all the time. I don't like the chaos in this little map of just people coming in constantly and all the chests refreshing, because what it really turns into, for the most part, is like a big extended mosh pit or TDM style game, and less of a battle royale, because survival and area of control and more conservative tactics just don't really mean anything. It's just like, you know, if I don't like Babylon because it's too cracked and crazy and you just spawn and die, that's how Resurgence feels for me. So I'm not super here for that. I'll obviously play it. I could be wrong. My opinions could change. I'd prefer a big, like, slow-paced, huge, I want 150 players back in BR. I want, you know, my actions to matter and a lot less buyback. Beyond that, Warzone is also removing the backpack system in favor of satchels, and I'm 100% on board with this because I hated the backpack system. So instead of that, you're going to have a series of slots in your inventory for cash, gas mask, plates, streaks, field upgrades, and of course your weapons, and then finally the ammo. You can pick up an armor or munition satchel to increase the amount of armor or munitions that you can carry, and I do actually like this simplification of the inventory system. I think the original Warzone inventory system is superior to the backpack system that we currently have, because I believe a Battle Royale game should have inventories that are able to be navigated quickly as if they were a skill. Apex Legends certainly comes to mind here, and the old backpack system ultimately ended up feeling more cluttery. I guess it's counterintuitive to say because it almost certainly took more skill to manage, but not in a good way, not in a very fluid way. So I'm hoping this simplification allows people to do things very quickly and manage their inventory quickly, and they're going to need to do that because people are going to be spawning in and landing on them. Beyond that, it has also very much so dawned on me recently that all of Call of Duty multiplayer is basically just a Warzone waiting room now, or maybe you could be generous and call it a Warzone training room. And this has really been the case ever since Modern Warfare 2019 came out. The base multiplayer experience has just been a leveling and training space for all the Warzone players, and that attitude certainly hasn't helped the quality of the multiplayer experience, I'll say, but I have overall enjoyed Warzone better than base multiplayer for a while now, so if the developers want to focus on Warzone and make that the main mode, I get it. That's sort of like where the money is right now. That's where the most players are. That's where people are buying the skins. That's where the most hyped tournaments are. Warzone is the focus right now. It just feels bad that most gamers' primary purpose in even loading up 6v6 multiplayer is to use it as a place to quickly level your guns for Warzone, or maybe just get a feel for how they all work before you take them into Warzone. And I guess this year in multiplayer, they can all train to do their insane movement god tricks all over the map and get really good at that before it moves to Warzone. And I genuinely don't know if omnimovement is going to make Warzone better or worse. I think that in base multiplayer, it's probably slightly worse because it allows you to navigate the maps at turbo speed, which ruins the flow and the spawns. And there's some issues where you slide around too much and make the hitboxes struggle. However, I am a fan of fast-paced Battle Royale games. I like them big, I like them bouncy, I like them with a lot of advanced movement and climbing and sliding and dashing and launch pads and zip lines. I'm here for all that kind of stuff. I guess I'm mostly thinking about Apex Legends and Fortnite right now, but in general, that vibe I'm here for and I do enjoy. And I hope that omnimovement translates that to Warzone. I hope that the Warzone experience is well designed around omnimovement, and there's a chance, I mean, if we're lucky, it'll give the sort of attack chase mechanic a refreshing update and a new skill gap. You could maybe escape better than anybody else because of your movement skills. And if we're unlucky, what it's going to mean is that every single gunfight you're in Warzone is going to be people with rocket skates on their feet sliding everywhere, and it's just going to be like movement gods dominating everything. I personally hope that it works well. Again, I'm looking for a fast-paced game, but I'm looking for the right kind of fast-paced game. And finally, at the end of this video, I promised you some gripes about optimization, and this is going to be very important for all of you Warzone players out there, and especially Warzone PC players. I feel that the base multiplayer is very console-heavy, but Warzone, the Warzone player base, has slightly more PC players, a higher proportion of players on PC. Even if they play on controller, which is what the game is completely designed for, they probably have a PC because of the NVIDIA color filters that help you see people more easily, and a greater degree of customization over the graphics. In general, I've also found that Warzone runs a little bit better on a high-end PC than it will on a console. That's a purely subjective opinion, and that can vary over time, but consoles have been they've been working to keep up with Warzone. PC's a little better in there. But as for my optimization, I discovered what is causing my game to perform poorly and to have insane ping spikes. And it's a very simple problem that I mentioned in my initial review of the beta, and it's still here. It's that Call of Duty demands more from your CPU, your processor, than any other game that I've played recently. Most games are very GPU intensive, and whether you get good frames or not is largely determined by if you have a 2080, 3080, or 4080, your NVIDIA cards, however they go up, the better the card, typically the better the frames. However, Call of Duty taxes your processor more than most games, and it doesn't use a very consistent amount, at least not for me. Recently, I was playing on absolute lowest settings, bare minimum of minimum, everything turned off, locked at 1080p, Black Ops 6 will still push my processor to 100%, or I suppose even above 100% if that's possible, because every time my CPU spikes, I lose frame rate in game, the game skips a little bit, I get packet burst, and then my ping spikes. Interestingly, when my CPU is being overtaxed by Call of Duty, it stresses out the system so badly that my Wi-Fi adapter on the computer begins to fail, and my USB ports start to inconsistently malfunction. I'm probably going to have to massively upgrade my CPU and maybe even my entire computer to continue to be able to play Call of Duty. And I said earlier this year that I wasn't going to do that. And now I find myself needing to do that again and wanting to continue my job and continue learning and kind of, you know, getting back to being me and myself. And I don't think I can do that if I just quit COD and go, I don't know, play Warframe or something like that. That's not going to be a good translation here. So I feel very, very mixed about that. And with the prospect of upcoming tariffs, perhaps not the worst time to upgrade computers. So we'll see how all this shakes out. I'm going to try to do some upgrades here in the house, try to get my game running a little bit better. And I hope that you learned something from this video. Maybe it can help make your Warzone experience a little bit more pleasurable or stable. If you did learn something, or if you just enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.